Welcome to this episode of Musically Cogitating, a podcast about the relevance and importance of living and contemporary music of all kinds, and about how that music impacts your everyday life. I am your host, Ciyadh Wells. Thank you for joining me here today for another episode of this podcast. As always, any important and relevant links will be linked in the show notes. If you are enjoying the show, please subscribe or follow and share it with a friend. And if you are really enjoying this podcast and you are in need of another sticker or bookmark, you can purchase Musically Cogitating Podcast sticker bookmark pack for $5 via the link in the show notes. Let's talk about careers. I really enjoy talking about all things related to artists and careers for whatever reason. And so I'm starting a little exploration, shall we say, into the different careers that I have had and hope to have as an artist. And maybe if you are an artist or musician and you are looking for new avenues, new ways to exercise your skills and creativity, you can take something away from this. And if you are neither of those things, well, I hope that you just enjoy learning about something that maybe you knew a lot about or maybe you didn't know a lot about. As a musician, it is kind of assumed that you will have lots of different careers, or that you'll have a lot of different jobs or skills, many of which you'll do all at the same time. In the very least, it's assumed that you will probably be a teacher of some sort. So you might do it online, you might do it in person, you might make videos, you might write blog posts or something, but you'll be the person who teaches. And it might be your primary job, or it might kind of be your secondary job. But for musicians, you'll either perform, you'll teach, and for some, that's really it. That's all that they want to do. But for some people, it's all that they think they can do and still consider themselves to be a musician, performer, or creator. And I don't think that limiting yourself to those positions limits your ability to call yourself any of those things. And I have a lot of musician friends, as you would probably assume, and a lot of people kind of say that they're happy being teachers primarily, and I'm not really sure because, they don't seem to be too happy being teachers, and they don't seem to enjoy it, and that really does rub off on their students, and it is noticeable. So of course, at some point I will go into and explore what my career has been like as a teacher so far. But for a lot of teachers, they just don't seem happy, and it seems to be that the career that they ended up having when someone told them, or they didn't feel as though they were quote unquote good enough to be a performer. And so they decided to be a teacher with little to no training, have never had a good teacher. And well, you can imagine how that goes. But there are other ways, of course, to have a career as a musician and as an artist. And you don't have to starve in order to do that. And so these episodes will be kind of broad and sporadic about the various things. To be an artist doesn't mean that you have to starve. It doesn't, and you shouldn't. Whoever started that trope probably didn't know that people would take it so literally, and I'm sure they regret it. But that's where we are, and you should be able to have a thriving career or job in whatever field that you choose and live comfortably, whether that be teaching or performing or consulting, which I'm going to talk briefly about, or any of those other things. It should bring you joy. It should spark joy, if you know what I mean. And in order to kind of do that as a musician, you do have to kind of think creatively about that, and you do have to branch out and reach out into new things. And I also like doing new things like this podcast, which I've been doing it for a little while, but it's still a new and really exciting thing for me. And so this is, in a lot of ways, an extension of my skills as a musician and as a person who makes things. But, currently alongside I'm going to call this my career as a podcaster, and as a musician and as a teacher, performing musician, I work as an administrator in my job. So there will be a time where I speak about, what it means to be an arts administrator. But another career that I really want to explore and talk about is consulting. And for a while now, I've been really interested in consulting. And so I guess this is, in a lot of ways, my announcement to the world that I want to be your consultant. And I want to consult you on matters of most things related to arts careers, administration, nonprofit, those types of things. I've always wanted to have a career that allows me to help people. And of course, I believe firmly that teaching and performing helps people and contributes to the world in a really positive way, but also so does consulting. And that's something I want to do. And you might very well be rolling your eyes and thinking, oh my gosh, Ciyadh, not you too. Everyone on Instagram is a coach or a consultant or this or that. And it does seem very, very trendy to be a consultant coach type. And I'm not really interested in consulting on matters of life, period, or where I just can't be helpful. I think I can be helpful to individuals and mostly to small groups and organizations. I want to help solve problems and just generally be a helpful person who has learned a lot through my experiences, and I want to share them with you. So I'll have some things linked below about the differences between consulting and coaching, but I find that I lean more into consulting than I do like one-on-one coaching because I am not really interested in helping you figure out your life problems. I mean, that's great, and there are people who are, and I really respect and love all of those people. But, I want to talk about music. I want to help you be successful. I want to help you, engage in your community. I want to help you be a part of your community. I want to help you grow your organization. I want your organization to be representative of the community that it serves. And so those are the things that I can consult you on. And say your music organization, you probably, if you're asking me, probably do some kind of new music, although that's not exclusive. If you're a Baroque chamber ensemble and you want to talk to me about, consulting things or particular topics, I'm happy to be with you. But say you're in a music organization and you want to build a board of directors and you have no idea how to do that. Well, you could hire someone like me to kind of consult you through that process. And, I'm just kind of getting my footing into this new career. It's something that I am exploring. I am not leaving my career as a podcaster, performer, or teacher, administrator to do this. This is something that I'm going to add on to the things that I'm already doing. And so I can help you do it in an affordable and a manageable way, and in a way that is really best for your community. Or say you're someone who is interested in building up some kind of chamber ensemble or band, and you just need a little bit of help and guidance and you have some questions, I can definitely, I think, be of help in that way. And there are lots of people in the world who can help you do just that. I mean, for instance, there are even people out there who are like podcasts consultants and coaches. So people who can help you figure out how to produce the very thing that you're listening to. And I think a lot of people are saying, I can just go it alone. And I think that totally does work. And sometimes having a coach or a consultant can just help you to A, speed up the process, but also B, it can just also help you find some direction, because sometimes you just need a little bit of direction in what you're doing. So I created a list of things that are kind of music centric or focused or organizational focused that I believe I can be helpful to you if you're interested in these things and in hiring me as a consultant. So that's building a board of directors, that's creating and sustaining a chamber music ensemble or a band if you have a band, growing your donor base. I can help with grant research. I work in development and fundraising, so I know a little bit about that and can help with that. I consult on matters of access, diversity, equity, and inclusion. I can help with planning, just long-range, short-term planning as an organization. And I can consult you, or you can consult me, however that works, on all of the guitar things as I think. And one that is kind of like hyper specific is repertoire planning and research, which I would probably just be more helpful to send you some things. I can't pick the music that you want to play for you, but I can help you find some things that, you know, would be fun and would be interesting and to help you grow a little bit. And who do I want to help? Well, I want to help you. But I'm really interested in helping small to mid-sized organizations, chamber ensembles, music organizations of any kind, arts in general, artist collectives. And if you're an individual who is interested in doing these things, but you just kind of want to have a little chat, I can help you with that too. If there's someone that you know who needs help with these things, please, don't hesitate to pass along my information, my personal information. So my website and my email and all that stuff is always in the show notes. So that's how I can be reached. A little bit of an aside to the consulting conversation. If you're looking for someone to do like a one-off engagement or opportunity, perhaps a lecture or a presentation about something, I do those too. So I can do those about music, careers, and exploration, which is kind of like what I'm doing right now. Any other topics that I listed, I can totally be available to do all of that. So I guess this episode was an opportunity for me to just say, hey, thinking about careers and exploring careers in music is interesting. It's something that I hope and I think that more people are talking about, but it's still a conversation that we need to continue having. And I wanted to share that if you're a musician out there, you're looking for ways to expand what you already do, then this could be an option for you. And I will definitely update you as I do more of this, as I really start to get deeper and explore it. So there's that. Since this is a show about music, I wanted to recommend something for you to listen to today. And this week's recommendation is Lingus off of Rodrigo and Gabriela's new album, which I think is entitled like the Jazz EP or something like that, which is so cool. I love them as a guitar duo, heavily inspired by them, and they did a cover of Snarky Puppy's Lingus, which is probably one of their most famous songs, and is one of my favorites too. You can always follow the podcast on social media and the website. You can sign up for the newsletter, which comes out about once a month or so. And if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, I would really, really appreciate it if you gave the show a rating and review, as it A, helps me to make the show better, and B, it also helps other people to find the show. You can always, or you can now, buy a sticker and a bookmark, like I said, through the link in the show notes. That's all I have. I really appreciate you listening and letting me talk to you about, careers and exploring them as an artist and as a musician in this world. So I'll be back in 2 weeks, like always, with another episode of the Musically Cogitating podcast. Until then.